I'm going to be teaching you about some simple auto mechanics.
This only took about 6 minutes to clean this bathroom, and we've only got, I guess we've got one bathroom down, 8 more to go. Let's go, guys.
Hey, you know you're getting ready to get married.
I did know that.
I thought it'd be time to have a man-to-man talk with you
Ah.
about the birds and the bees.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Friday, July 1st, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's time for a long weekend. We have the holiday coming up on Monday, July 4th, so I'm probably going to be taking a few days off. So I wanted to wrap up this week with a couple videos about the Duggars. There are some new details I have to share. One is about Anna Duggar. Okay, so last week, Anna Duggar was out on her birthday. She is 34 now, and she posted on her Instagram and on Twitter that she was taking a road trip to go see her bestie. And so a lot of people assumed she was on a road trip to go see Josh. I mean, obviously, who else could be her best friend? Well, maybe it's her sister Priscilla or Susanna. Well, here's what we know. This summer, the Duggars have been traveling all over the place. And by Duggars, I mean like the Duggar collectively, like not all together. Like the Duggars, like the kids, the parents, they're all doing their traveling for the summer. And James Duggar last week was actually at a wedding with his sister Jana and Jason for Olivia Collinsworth up in Cincinnati. And now James is actually down in Texas. So he went from Cincinnati to Texas, Fort Worth, and he shared a picture on his stories on Instagram, which was actually saved by someone on the Duggar Snark Reddit board. So credit goes to the snarker who captured the story. I actually missed it. But in the photograph James posted was with a selfie where it's James and he is standing by in the photo with Justin, Claire Duggar's younger sister, her younger brother, Claire Duggar's aunt, so Claire Spivey, I should say, and then Mackenzie Duggar is in the background. Yes, so Mackenzie Duggar, M1, is in Fort Worth. So why would Mackenzie Duggar, the oldest child of Anna and Josh, be down in Fort Worth? Well, that's because it's Fair Park Baptist Church's Vacation Bible School, which means that Anna, on her road trip, actually might have been driving down to see bestie Priscilla and bring the kids down to Vacation Bible School. So Fair Park Baptist Church is the church that is run by David Waller. David Waller is the former assistant of Bill Gothard, and he now is the pastor of Fair Park Baptist Church, which is an independent fundamentalist Baptist church in the Fort Worth area. The Spiveys, Hillary and Rob Spivey, along with their kids, are members of this church, along with Justin and Claire Duggar, and with obviously Priscilla being a member of the church, the kids participate in Vacation Bible School each summer. So they were actually taking like registrations for the Vacation Bible School a couple weeks, like within the last month. And they were sharing some of the photos of Vacation Bible School, which started on Monday. And they haven't shared anything else. And in the photographs, I'll note that there's nothing here that shows any of the Duggar kids that I can tell. Last year, the same kids went down for Vacation Bible School. So if Anna actually went down to Texas to see Priscilla and take the kids to Vacation Bible School, this actually happened last year as well. And it actually looks like Claire is volunteering at this event along with her sister because they're wearing t-shirts for the Vacation Bible School volunteers. So with the kids participating in Vacation Bible School and the potential that Anna is in Fort Worth right now, she is actually about 50 some miles away from Seagoville, Texas. So I was trying to explain this to you guys, I think a couple days ago, that Anna's sister and brother-in-law, David and Priscilla, live in Fort Worth. And then there's also the Spivies that live in the same area along with Justin and Claire Duggar. And all of these people are still within the IBLP. And with Anna, she has a kind of fractured relationship with some of the siblings, with Josh's siblings, but she's been able to maintain, a close relationship with her brother-in-law, David, and her sister, Priscilla. And I'm assuming that, the Spivies were actually at the trial. At least Hillary Spivey was there to support Anna. So this is my thought. And if this is going to happen, this is where I think she'll move. If Anna is going to make the decision to move down to Texas, I think she could end up landing in the Fort Worth area. I know it's not right next to Seagoville, but it's where she has support. So she would be able to use her sister, Priscilla, and David, and then she would have her brother-in-law, Justin, and his wife, Claire, and then she would also have the Spivies, Hillary and Rob. Now, why would Hillary and Rob be interested in potentially helping Anna? Back in 2002 or 2003, Josh had been sent away to a facility in Fort Little Rock, the Little Rock Training Center, which is formerly the IBLP's center that they sent for kids. So in the early 2000s, the IBLP expanded a lot of their facilities, and one of those facilities was actually in Little Rock. Jim Bob Duggar was actually in a photograph with Bill Gothard at the dedication ceremony for this building when it opened, and it's the old, I think, Veterans Medical Building. And what it became was a center for children or juvenile detention. So how the IBLP really was able to expand a lot of what they've done and recruit people into their group was through these programs, whether it was their homeschool curriculum, or they had prison ministries where they would go into prisons to recruit people, or their juvenile detention program. And so they would work with courts and somehow get courts to send their juvenile delinquents to their programs in lieu of going to jail or to juvenile detention centers. And their promise was that they were going to help reform the kids through biblical principles. Ultimately, these programs became littered with, allegations of ABUSE and other just ineffective models, and a lot of the people that went through it claiming that they were being harmed by the staff, denied food, forced into rooms for hours at a time. Basically the nightmare centers that you hear about and have heard about when we talk about the troubled teen industry. So at this point, most of those centers have actually been closed down. The most notorious one was in Indianapolis. But back to the story is that Rob and Hillary Spivey, when the facility opened in the early 2000s, it was Rob Spivey that actually was in charge of the Little Rock Center, and that's where Josh actually went for his help. And so Rob Spivey was part of providing Josh with therapy after he essayed his sisters. Obviously, he is not a licensed counselor, and he simply was worked at the IBLP, so he's basically doing what the IBLP tells him to do. He has no business running a facility to help reform children at all, absolutely no training to do so. So Anna might be interested in being down there because she's around people that are going to be sympathetic to Josh, who've tried to help him in the past, and who might be sympathetic to her and to the kids and willing to help. So there's that. How far would she be from in Fort Worth to the facility that's in Dallas, Seagoville? Well, probably about 50 some miles, I think 52, 55 miles. Now, I understand it's not super close because people in the area have told me that traffic in Dallas is really tough. And so it's probably more like a 2-hour drive instead of a 1-hour drive. I apologize. I live in a ruralish town where 52 miles means 52 minutes because that's how long it takes where I live. So, but there, I guess, with the Dallas traffic, you could probably think it's about a 2-hour drive. Much closer there than she would be if she were up in Arkansas. So if she was going to plan to visit Josh and she wanted to go down from Arkansas, it would be like a 6 to 7 hour drive every time. And that's without stops. So she's got 6 kids. That's, and kids are actually limited in their abilities to be able to visit Seagoville at this time. So there are some significant restrictions on visitation at this point, and everything is at this point, again, no contact. So Anna's kids, at least Mackenzie, are down in Texas, which doesn't surprise me, again, because they went to this Vacation Bible School last year. But then I also was wondering if she might end up looking at property potentially in this area as a means to live there while Josh is incarcerated. So how the visitation works is they only get so many points per month, and generally it's limited to so many hours per month. It's 4 hours per month total per inmate. And even though they offer weekly visitation, that doesn't mean that every single week he'll have points in order for someone to visit. And points are provided to the inmate via the warden, and points are dependent on a variety of different things. And so if someone comes during the week, it's less points for visits. If they go on a weekend, they use more points. And once the points are gone for the month, they're done and they don't have any more visits left for the month. So visits are also limited in the length of time, and again, no contact. So even if she were to move down there, it's not like she can spend tons of time with him. She would just be closer to visit him and see him face to face, which right now they're allowing face to face contact, but everything is socially distanced and they are not allowed to touch each other. I hope that makes sense. At this point, I've seen no evidence of property purchases by anyone related to the Duggars. I have checked records in the Fort Worth area to see if there's any property records or purchases by either Jim or Anna, and I haven't seen anything at this point, but I will keep you posted. So Anna's trip to see her bestie is now seemingly confirmed to be that she drove down to Texas to bring the kids to Vacation Bible School, and she is likely hanging out with Priscilla and her kids. So the Vacation Bible School was all week this week, started on Monday. I think today is the last day. And they posted some photographs on June 27th. Last year, they actually kind of limited the amount of photographs that they posted simply because people kept finding photographs of the Duggar kids, and David Waller apparently didn't want people to see that. I don't know. Anyways, so Anna Duggar is in Fort Worth, not far away from where Josh is, not far in terms of Texas and versus Arkansas. Just want to clarify that again. And then Josh Duggar's visitation with Anna could become easier if she were to move to Fort Worth. If she will move there, I don't know. I don't see a lot of reasons for Anna to stay in Arkansas at this point, outside of just having help from the Duggars. But if she wants some space away from them, Texas might be a more viable option. They also have the Big Sandy Training Center that's about an hour from Fort Worth, or 90 minutes from Fort Worth, which would be about 2.5 hours from where Seagoville is. So she has options because she could also stay at the IBL Training Center on Big Sandy. There's houses that they have staff that work there, and she could take on a volunteer position with IBLP. Who knows? So that's what I have for today on Anna Duggar and whether or not she's moving and on the move into Texas. What are your thoughts about this? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.